continuing on the theme of data and data protection, so while Vamsi gave us a fantastic overview of what's happening when people outside the organization, there are external data threats, right? And there are many ways in which Symantec is working towards helping us overcome those challenges. There are also threats to data within the organization, and not just by malicious intent, but by pure and simple human stupidity. Right? Sometimes we may fail to take backups of data. Sometimes we may goof up when we are migrating. So we have Acronis with us today, and they have a range of solutions which are meant to protect and help us back up and migrate data safely. So let's have Rustom from Acronis talking about their range of solutions. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today, especially the people in Mumbai. With the inclement weather, the crazy traffic we've been having yesterday. So thank you for joining us. I almost didn't make it here today. Murphy at its best. And that's how it usually works. When there's an important event, when there's something you need to do, Murphy starts and works very hard. And that's how it works in the digital world also. When there's an important event, when there is something you need to do, is when things start going wrong. A system goes down, a server crashes, so many things can go wrong. So that's what we're going to look at today. How to counter Murphy, the SAPAS Conundrum. But before that, for those of you who don't know Acronis very well, a couple of minutes, let me introduce Acronis to you. So we are a Swiss-Singaporean company. We started in 2003. We opened another headquarters in Switzerland. We like the weather there. The QBRs are tough, so it's nice to cool off in Switzerland. We're growing very, very rapidly, 30% this year, projected 40% the next year. And we are present in about 150 countries. Interestingly, 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies in the world work with Acronis products. We're working on the other 20%. We work with about 50,000 partners like you globally, and we take data protection, cyber protection to the globe. I could use one of these. Yes, people, the world is digital today. I mean, look at it. You have robotics, IA, IoT, so many things. Us as individuals, we use PCs, mobiles, laptops, wearables, just us, single. Now translate that to a corporate, and the multiplicity increases. We know the world is digital, and it's just getting more and more complex each day. Now, in this digital world, given the world is digital, what is the opportunity that all of us are looking at? As business people, what are we looking at? And there are three main pivots here that we see: complexity, security, and cost, which are the main driving factors. Let's take a look at this. There are estimated 100 billion devices in the world, all using data, all which need to store data, work with data, protect data. Of these 100 billion, just 1 or 2 billion are what we call core devices. The rest are what we call edge or endpoint devices. And that is the size of the opportunity that all of us have. 98 billion devices for us to do business with. Lots of devices. What's next? What can go wrong, obviously? So apart from operational issues, apart from Murphy working, there is an entire industry which works against security threats. So there are all these bad guys, all these black hats who want to come in and mess with your data. They want to steal it, they want to change it, they want to do all kinds of things with it. It's an industry. I mean, ransomware alone slated to be what? About 3 or 4 billion in a couple of years? And these are bad guys, but it's there. There's malware, there are all kinds of things which are happening. The third, the cost. Estimated 40 40 zettabytes of data today in 2019, growing to about 175 zettabytes in the next 5 or 6 years. That's a 450% increase. All this data needs to be protected. It has to be backed up, protected, and that's the opportunity size we're looking at. So given that the world is digital, given that there is so many devices, given that there is so much data that needs protection, what we feel is that digital protection or cyber protection is now become the fifth human need. So you need air to breathe, roti, kapda, makan, and cyber protection because it's a digital world. We also believe that cyber protection needs to be easy, it needs to be secure, and it needs to be efficient. When we say efficient, we're talking about being reliable and your ability to control it. This is what leads us to the SAPAS Conundrum, the 5 vectors of cyber protection that we look at. And let's take a common sense look at this. The first, safety. You have all this data and you need to keep it safe. You need to ensure that the data is there, it's available, it's backed up in number of places, on-premise, off-site, in the cloud. So it's always available to you in spite of everything that can go wrong. An operational failure, system failures, Murphy, the bad guy is coming in, whatever it is, you need to look at safety. So safety is the first thing that you look at. And you do everything you can to keep your data safe. You back it up, you put it wherever you want, and you make sure it's safe. So now your data is safe. You put it away, you've locked it away. What next? Accessibility. Is it so safe you can't access it? What you need is fast, efficient access to your data. Your time and point restoration objectives need to be set by you as a business. And hence, accessibility is another core point, core vector in the entire process. It depends on how fast you can restore your data, how quickly, how easily, and how much control you have on that restoration process. If you have a server down, can you take that as a snapshot, get your OS, apps, data all back in one go? Yes, you can, if you're using Acronis. You want just one file, you want one mail, granular recovery. Yes, you can do that. That is what accessibility means. That is what ease and efficiency means. All right? So your data is safe. You are able to access it. It's all working well. What next? Privacy. How do you know who's looking at your data? You've got it stored away in multiple places to keep it safe. It's very easy to access. You can have granular recovery, you can do all kinds of things with your data, but who else is able to do that? Who's looking into your data with malicious intent? Who's trying to change your data, steal your data? So privacy is a primary concern. So your data is private, you've done whatever you could, but the data you have stored, how authentic is it? Authenticity is another key variable in this game. There is a fair amount of people out there who, for pleasure or for money, will go in and do things with your data. They'll try to steal it or they will go change it. And this is happening today. So authenticity is a very key variable. There's a nice little feature in the Acronis software called Acronis Notary, which ensures that your data is authentic. I'll come to it. Authenticity is another key variable. And finally, security. You need to keep your data secure from all the malcontents, all the people who are trying to get it, steal it, mess with it. So safety becomes the final vector in cyber protection. And unless you have all these in a holistic manner, in a way that it is easy, efficient, reliable, and completely controllable, you will have problems, your customers will have issues. So basically, cyber protection, a holistic cyber protection stance is the balancing force across these 5 vectors, and these are common sense vectors that you look at. I've spoken about flexibility, a little bit about the kind of flexibility you will get with Acronis. You can use any management software when you are using this. You can protect anything, your backups, your storage, your disaster recovery when you are with the Acronis cloud. Workloads, on-premise, private cloud, public cloud, mobile, anything you want. You can store anywhere you want. You store it on-premise, disk, tape, SAN, NAS, data center, public cloud, private cloud, anywhere. We give you complete flexibility. So when you're using Acronis, you and your customers have complete flexibility on storage destination. You do not have to go with one or the other. And you can recover it anywhere. Physical, virtual, mobile. Like I said, you can recover an entire server. You can require, get back just a file, a granular file. So the kind of flexibility that you need in this environment is what you get. I'll spend a couple of minutes telling you about a couple of innovations that Acronis has, and these are kind of unique. This is something that makes it stand out. First is Acronis Active Protection. I mentioned ransomware is an industry today. Ransomware is driving a lot of businesses crazy because once it comes in through whatever channel, your data gets locked, gets encrypted, and there is ransom to pay, all kinds of hell breaks loose. This feature is a standard feature in every Acronis product. What we do not do ransomware detection, we do ransomware protection. What does this mean? So, ransomware detection is when a signature is seen, some kind of pattern is seen, and an alert goes to this crack team which says, look, there's something going wrong, do something. It depends on a human element, how fast people can react, what you can do. What Acronis does is, it takes that away. You will get the detection, the alerts will go, but an active protection comes in. We use behavioral heuristics to make this happen and block any ransomware attack. Today, there are a few tens of thousands of customers who are using Acronis products. Nobody has had a successful ransomware attack anymore. We actually have a counter in our headquarters which keeps count of how many ransomware attacks we have blocked. In case, apart from the protection, in case any files have got infected, what happens is restore happens from cache, so completely secure from a ransomware attack. Another nice feature, when we spoke about authenticity, keeping your data authentic, how do you know anybody's tampered it? So when you sign a contract with somebody, you go to a notary, a human chap who puts a chop on that document and says, okay, now this document is pristine, it can't be tampered with. The documents that you store electronically, digitally, are sometimes not safe from tampering. We know that there is a lot of people getting in, stealing, doing a lot of things. With Acronis Notary, we use blockchain as a mechanism to make sure that all the documents that you have stored, these could be contracts, it could be financial data, it could be any critical data. When you turn on Acronis Notary, using blockchain, it will ensure that there is no tampering with any of the documents, and in case something does happen, an alert comes to you right away, so you know. Acronis does data protection, cyber protection, and offers it both on an on-premise as well as cloud. So Acronis has their own cloud. But we are generally storage agnostic. So if you or your customers want to store data on the Azure cloud, the Google cloud, a local data center, I mentioned this, any technology we have. So you can do that when you're using Acronis software. We have tie-ups with both with Azure and Google, and what we offer is hybrid storage environment. So to sum up, any data technology, complete flexibility for all your data protection, your cyber protection needs, software-defined infrastructure, a hybrid cloud architecture, which means you have total flexibility in storage. We use blockchain, we use artificial intelligence. This is how we counter Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you, Rustom. That was a really quick and crisp introduction into the Acronis' set of products. So I have a question for the audience here as well as everywhere else. Did someone notice that during in one of those slides, there was a buzzword that we've been talking about for quite some time, but this is probably the first time we have seen someone offer a product using that buzzword hype technology. Any guesses on what that is? Yeah? Excellent. So Acronis, in fact, has the unique distinction of bringing a security product or a data protection product that uses the blockchain. So great work there, Rustom.